The reason that some information about treatment is coming out so late is because it took us a lot of time to study the phenomena, to establish its validity, to understand its mechanisms, its correlates, what does it come with, what other issues are associated with it. After numerous interactions with consumers, with people out there who are experiencing maladaptive daydreaming, we learned a lot about the experience and about what helps. But this split of consciousness can, as any mental phenomena, become abnormal. It starts with a normal phenomena among children who can daydream and become totally absorbed in a book, not only in their mind, in a film, in a cartoon, but also in play. Invent and experience imaginary friends. Still, the children are absolutely normal, of course, and this very trait can linger on and stay in some adults and provide them with an internal entertainment system built in their mind. Conditions ripe for the development of an addiction. In this case, a behavioral addiction. Maladaptive daydreaming can be comorbid. It can come with other psychological problems correlated with attention deficit disorder, the inattentive type. We know it is correlated with depression, with social anxiety, with obsessive compulsive disorder among survivors of childhood trauma. It is also important to note that many people with maladaptive daydreaming are quite ashamed of their condition. They tell me they do not talk about it with family members or with friends, and many don't even mention it to their therapist because, as I'm being told, many therapists do not dismiss it, do not understand it, and therefore that increases the sense of frustration. First of all, we concluded that motivational interviewing is important. What is motivational interviewing? It is a method of resolving a person's ambivalence about recovering from an addiction. Why ambivalence? Because it is both rewarding and distressful. So people want to get rid of it, but of course crave for it at the same time. So to allow individuals to embrace the treatment efforts, and they must be highly motivated. Motivational interviewing is facilitated usually by the therapist. Those interested in recovery develop their own motivational statements and plans in reminding themselves why is it so important for them to recover, what do they stand to gain from recovery, and what do they stand to lose from abandoning the treatment. Contingency management could be effective. What is contingency management? It is, again, a behavioral treatment, and it is used to encourage or to reinforce sobriety by offering an alternative rewarding experience, by rewarding the correct behavior. So this method provides material rewards as motivation for desirable behaviors. Daydreaming can be used as a reward for completing the regular responsibilities, meeting the regular obligations one has in real life. So one can allot a half an hour, let's say, or an hour even of daydreaming, if that is what reward for and a condition for having met the predetermined responsibilities. This is an important idea to keep in mind. It can help shape the right behavior. It can help prevent dropout and relapse. We used in our clinical trial, we use monitoring in order to gauge the changes in daydreaming and to evaluate and assess our intervention. But we noticed, and some people reported to us, that just by starting to monitor their own mental activity, they became more aware of it. This in and of itself helped them reduce their daydreaming time. Monitoring can be done, of course, by keeping some kind of a journal and logging the time during the day spent in daydreaming. You could also indicate other circumstances that have led to the daydreaming, that have triggered it, and this can become important material for reflection or to bring into therapy. CBT can be applied and is applied in the treatment of many mental disorders. Our recent clinical trial focused primarily on mindfulness. And we found mindfulness to be effective in improving control over excessive daydreaming among maladaptive daydreamers. What is mindfulness? We are talking about a state in which one becomes more aware of one's physical, the present moment, about one's emotional condition. And it's important to do so without becoming judgmental and getting carried away in all kind of self-talk that is critical, just observing. Individuals may be able to pay attention to a variety of experiences, such as their bodily sensations, thoughts, their feelings, and the challenge is to accept them without being influenced by them. We're talking about a basic human ability to be fully present. And it's about not becoming overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us or in our mind. So people can practice mindfulness both by sitting down for a formal meditation practice, but they can also become more intentional and focused and aware on the things that they do each day. You can search YouTube and find a lot of free lessons on how to develop your mindfulness skill. And mindfulness can often help the person identify what are the issues that are triggering them into daydreaming. So what is important to remember that we are not encouraging people to sit in a yoga position and meditate all day, because mindfulness training is not all in your head. It should become a way of life. Because once the knowledge of mindfulness practices is developed, those who master the skill can integrate mindfulness into their daily lives, such as during walking, paying attention to putting the weight on one foot after the other and the sensations in the muscles and so on. So one can mindfully walk, mindfully jog, mindfully eat, mindfully listen to music. Although music is, as I said, a trigger to fantasy, try to figure out, what is it that we're hearing now, which instruments, how are they played, becoming present rather than drifting away. And we can involve mindfulness in almost everything that we do. And mindfulness could be especially important during emotionally overwhelming experience, because this kind of practice can help people maintain their sense of control. In short, we now have evidence to be published soon that maladaptive daydreaming is treatable. Good news.